Hello students, today we will talk about bryophytes. As you know, bryophytes are the just amphibians of plant kingdom, and they are usually found nearby water source as they need water for their fertilization or reproduction. So today we will talk about the general classification of bryophytes and also their life cycle and different aspects of bryophytes. So bryophytes are generally classified into three groups. One is the most advanced, known as mosses, and then the most primitive, liverworts, and somewhat in between, also known as hornworts. Well, the three phyla, botanically, the three phylums are named as Hepatophyta for liverworts. As you know, hepata is word for liver. Then the word Hepatophyta is usually used because in medicinal purposes liverworts were used for healing liver ailments. Then there is Anthospherophyta for hornworts and Bryophyta for mosses. The name Bryophyta refers to one phylum, but informal term Bryophyte refers to all non-vascular plants, but that's used for classical botany. Generally we use the term Bryophyta for only these three phylums. The diverse Bryophyta are not a monophyletic group. Several evidence indicate that these phyla diverged independently early in the plant evolution and before the origin of vascular plants. Well, evolutionary point of view, if we see, definitely all the three phylums, as we discussed, the Hepatophyta or the liverworts, Anthospherophyta or the hornworts or the mosses, they have different lines of evolution, and it has also been proved by several evidences that they diverged from the vascular plants. That is, the early vascular plants were pteridophytes, then gymnosperms and angiosperms. So they have different origin and they diverged early in the evolution. Liverworts and hornworts make the most reasonable models of what early plants were like. And mosses are the bryophytes mostly related to vascular plants. Definitely mosses are the most advanced bryophytes, so they are closely related to vascular plants. And more importantly to pteridophytes, where the evolution of the vasculature started. Gametophyte is the dominant generation in the life cycle of bryophyte. As you know, in primitive plants or in not so complex plants like bryophytes or algae or even fungi or in bacteria, mostly the life cycle is of gametophytic generation, and the sporophytic generation is mostly represented by zygote. But here definitely the main plant body is gametophytic, but somewhere in between the sporophytic generation somewhat extends, represented by sporophyte, which is an important phase of it, but it's not prolonged. Sporophytes are smaller and present only part of time. We'll see just in a few minutes. And bryophyte spore germination in favorable habitats and grow into gametophytes by mitosis. Definitely the spores which are generated by meiosis in sporophytes, they give rise to gametophyte, which is the main plant body by mitosis. Gametophyte is massive green branched one cell thick filament called a protonema. Now this is very important. The germination of the spores lead to a structure called protonema, which is only one cell thick, which leads to development of mature gametophyte. When sufficient resources are available protonema produces meristems. These meristems generate gamete-producing structures called gametophores. Now, in summarization of the life cycle of bryophytes is very well explained on this diagram. As you can see, in diploid, some, as you will see, in bryophytes some are diploid species and some are haploid species, or we can say the gametophyte can have male and female reproductive organs on same thallus or on different thallus. Here they are presented in this diagram on different thallus. So you can say the antheridia are the male reproductive organs and they produce sperm, and then the archegonium, which is female reproductive organs, and there is fertilization, and you can see there is a raindrop because I have already mentioned that water is essential for fertilization. Then there is fertilization in the archegonium, and then there is mitosis, and mitosis leads to young sporophyte, and sporophyte is the sporophyte is represented by foot-seed tank capsule. The capsule is the place where the spores are produced. Then this foot-seed tank capsule, the one important term is the sporophytic generation of sporophyte is always attached to female gametophyte. Then there is meiosis. Then there is spores. Now the spores, here there are two types of spores because the thallus is different for female and male gametophytic generation, and there is protonema, and protonema leads to later on gametophores, and gametophores will gametophyte. Bryophytes are anchored by tubular cells, a filament of cells called rhizoid. Rhizoids are not composed of tissues, they lack specialized conducting cells. They do not play a primary role in water and mineral absorption. Of these is very important. Just for rhizoids are never, they are just for anchorage or the support or the attachment to the substructure or the base of the gametophytic generation. They have no role in conduction of water or mineral absorption. Bryophyte gametophyte generally only one or few cell things, placing all cell close to water and dissolved material. Most bryophyte lack conducting tissues to distribute the placing all cell out of water and dissolved minerals. Most bryophytes lack conducting tissues to distribute water and organic compounds within the gametophyte. Those with specialized conducting tissues lack the lignin coating found in xylem or vascular plants. Lacking support tissues, most bryophytes are not only a few centimeters tall. They are anchored by tubular cells of filaments called rhizoids. We have talked about rhizoids. As you know, there is no vasculature in bryophytes, so there is no supporting system. So they are only few centimeters tall. They cannot grow beyond 1 or 2 feet height. Now, the specialized cells to conduct water lacks the lignin coating found in xylem, so they are not very efficient in conducting water. Therefore, that was the reason why xylem was developed in higher plants of vascular plants. The gametophytes of hornworts and some liverworts are flattened and grow close to ground. Now these are some examples of liverworts and hornworts. They are mostly dorsiventral, that is, they are flattened on the ground. The lower surface is mostly for anchorage where rhizoids are present, and the upper surface is photosynthetic region where mainly photosynthesis is conducted. Normally it's green in color. The structures which we see here, this is all the 3 photographs. These structures are sporophytes, and even some specific shapes of sporophytes we can identify the genus or even species of any bryophyte. The gametophytes of mosses and some liverworts are more leafy because they have stem-like structure. Now in some liverworts and mosses, the gametophyte is more like plant-like, so they have leaf-like appendages. There is no true leaf, remember, because there is no leaf here, there is no vasculature, so we cannot call it leaf-like. They are not releasing this lignin-coated vascular cell, definitely there is no vasculature. The leaves of most mosses lack a cuticle, only one cell thick feature that enhance water minerals from moisture. Because there is no cuticle and only one cell thick leaves of mosses, they can absorb water and minerals directly from the environment, which is needed because they are not true roots. Some mosses are more complex leaves with ridges to enhance absorption of sunlight. These ridges are coated with cuticle. Some mosses have conducting tissues in the stem and can grow as tall as 2 meters, and with the conducting tissue more analogous and homologous. Okay. In some bryophytes, we can call it vascular tissue-like tissues are present, so therefore there is a support system, so they can grow as long as 2 meters, but they are not true vascular system. And there is some mosses have complex leaves to absorb, which can increase the absorption of sunlight. The mature gametophores of bryophyte produce gametes and gametangia. Each V-shaped archaeogony producing like each R3 and 3D produce manifestates the general system of reproduction bryophytes. And gametophores are present when gametangia is present. This is how it works. When plants are coated with a thin film of water and swim towards the margin drawn by the gamete attractants, they swim into archegony and fertilize the eggs. Zygotes and young sporophytes are retained and nourished by the parent gametophyte. Layers of placenta and nutritive cells will transport. As we have discussed before, water is essential for reproduction, and chemotexis movements are also important. Zygote and young sporophytes are retained and nourished by parent gametophyte. As you know, it is attached by the